It started like any other morning in Doha, but with Dul leading the way and our little girl Mariam, or just M as we call her, full of excitement. I knew this wasn't just another trip. It was the start of something unforgettable. She claimed the trolley as her ride, a 6-year-old traveler, already in charge of her adventure. The airport was glowing. M was full of questions, pointing at everything. Dul answered most, and I just listened, happy to let them lead. As we walked toward the plane, her tiny hand slipped into Dul's. High above the clouds, she opened her meal like a surprise box. We touched down in Helsinki. Colder air, quieter mood, but her wonder only got louder. The airport was calm and spotless. She rushed to the big windows, excited to spot some snow. But to her disappointment, there was none. We paused for a coffee and cookies. She looked around and said,
Yay, I like this place.
at baggage claim, we stood quietly, putting on extra layers, still half wrapped in the long journey. Mariam tugged her little suitcase, walking beside Dul like a seasoned traveler. I followed with a smile. We were finding our rhythm. We followed signs toward the train platform. Dul checked the map, calm as always. Mariam just asked how long the ride would be. Her curiosity never takes a break. Little towns came and went, each one like a painting. Mariam pointed out red rooftops as we swayed along the tracks. The train slipped past quiet tracks and bare window trees. The world outside felt still, like it was holding its breath for spring. She leaned into the glass window quietly, cheeks warm against the glass. The world outside felt slow and peaceful. We didn't talk much, we were too busy watching it all pass by. We stepped off at Helsinki's city center. Dul led the way and M followed behind. Her red coat stood against the station walls. We finally reached our hotel. We walked from the train station, pulling our bags to quiet streets, tired but glad to be here. The hallway was dim, just enough light to guide us through. When we stepped into the room, bright curtains, clean sheets, space to breathe, a little comfort after a long day, and our corner of Finland for the night. We knew we only had a day to explore Helsinki, just one chance to feel the rhythm of the city, wander through its streets, and take in everything the short window light could offer. So we dropped our bags, soaked in a moment of calm, and got ready to step back out. We paused for a moment by the window, the city glowing in the last light of evening. It was just one day here, and we didn't want to let a single bit of it slip by. Evening light spilled gently over the city. We wandered past all buildings and quiet streets, letting the path unfold one turn at a time. And then we reached Helsinki Cathedral, its white pillars catching the last of the sun, crowning the square with a quiet elegance. Its neoclassical columns, bright white against the dusk, and the green dome glowing faintly in the fading light. Building in the 1800s, it still feels like the heart of the city. From the cathedral, we drifted into Senate Square. At its center stood the statue of Alexander II, surrounded by the stillness of early evening, a quiet reminder of the city's layered history. Just a few streets away, the mood changed. Shop lit up, windows glowed warm. The city moved with a soft buzz, elegant but never in a rush. The evening breeze started to bite a little harder, and we realized the gloves we packed, 2 pairs each, were still tucked away in our suitcase. Classic us. We both laughed. The city trams rolled by, the warm lights a contrast to the growing chill. M, thankfully layered up, stayed cheerful. But my fingers were slowly starting to forget what warmth felt like. As we walked further down the street, hand in hand, It wasn't just the cold settling in, it was the kind of moment that carves itself into memory. As we reached the central station, the sky had slipped into a gentle pink. That iconic clock tower stood tall, watching over the crossroads of Helsinki. The streets opened wide here, trams rolling past, people crossing paths, and we stood there for a moment, just feeling part of the flow. We made it back to the station, that familiar arch glowing in the early evening light. A day full of memories behind us and still more waiting. Inside, the boards flickered with names of places we'll one day visit. But today, it was enough to just stand there, tired, happy, and together. The air had turned crisp. We lingered outside the square, letting Em run ahead while Dul watched her from behind. Near the statue of Alexis Kivi, Finland's beloved writer, the city lit up in amber, history around us, stories beneath our steps. We were part of it now, even if just for a day. After a long day of wandering, we settled into the warmth of a cozy corner restaurant, flipping through the menus that felt like little passports to flavor. Em sat quietly, eyes glued to the glowing streets outside, maybe dreaming, maybe just soaking in the calm she could feel but not yet describe. And then came the comfort we needed, spices we knew, served in a land we were just getting to know. Nothing wraps up a cold evening better than a cup of hot coffee. Dula and I held our mugs like anchors, grounding ourselves in this moment, letting the warmth reach the tired edges of the day. City lights shimmered outside, but inside, time slowed. One full day lived, we closed the chapter of day one, hearts full, ready to rest. Day 2 started early, too early maybe. No breakfast, just warm coats and sleepy eyes. We rushed through the chill to catch our train from platform 9. The station was still waking up, but we made it just in time. We were on our way to Rovaniemi, the city of snow and stories. We bought a coffee from the onboard cafe. This coffee wasn't fancy, but it warmed our hands and our mood. Outside, Helsinki slipped away slowly, the city lights fading behind frosted glass. The train moved fast, but inside, time felt slower. We just watched and enjoyed the ride. Some moments don't need words, just the view and the feeling that you're going somewhere special. Rovaniemi was still far, but our hearts were already halfway there. Snow covered buildings passed us by. Each one looked like a quiet postcard. What we loved the most were these red cottages, traditional Finnish homes, once painted red with iron rich paint to protect the wood. They stood calm in the snow, quiet, sturdy, and full of stories untold.
They look like candy houses.
We were somewhere in the middle of Finland now. The frost painted everything in soft silence. We passed long stretches of frozen fields. Each turn on the track felt like flipping a page in a winter storybook. The sky finally broke blue. The sun showed up late. But when it did, everything sparkled. Even our sleep deprived faces lit up.
Wappy, I saw a snowman.
A snowman, a candy house, or Santa himself. With M, imagination always travels with us. The farther we went, the deeper the snow got, and the forest just began to thicken. We were inching close to the Arctic. We hadn't eaten much on the train, just a few snacks we packed from home. It was a long ride, over 10 hours, and still more to go. We had no solid plans for our enemy yet. No list, no schedule. Just an idea that we'd figure it out once we reached the hotel. Sometimes, the best parts of a trip are the ones you don't plan. We finally arrived in Rovaniemi. The temperature? A welcoming minus 3 degrees Celsius. Em and Dul were the first to step out onto a snowy platform that felt straight out of a storybook.
Wow, it's very cold.
Em said excitedly. We stood there with our bags, waiting for the hotel pickup, excited and a little unsure of what comes next. By this time, we had received the arrival instructions from our stay, and honestly, it felt like a briefing for an Arctic expedition. We weren't just heading to a hotel, we were heading deep into the wilderness of Lapland. The place we were heading to was about 45 minutes from the Rovaniemi city center, but in bad weather, it could take an hour. The road might be icy, snowy, and reindeer may casually cross your path. There is no proper address, no pin to follow, just one road into the northern forest and a message that says, follow the snowy trail for 3 kilometers. It may bend left but never turn right. That line, it stayed with us. None of us had winter driving experience, and we definitely didn't want to end up turning right into nowhere, so we chose the safest option, a pickup from the stay. To reach the stay, the final stretch would be a 10-minute sled ride through the snow, deep into the trees, wrapped in a warm blanket, pulled by a snowmobile. We reached the edge of the road, and from there, the road disappeared into snow and trees. The staff was already waiting, just like they said, calm, smiling, as if it was normal to greet families on the edge of nowhere. We hopped into the sled, wrapped in thick blankets, unsure what excited us more, the snow trail ahead or the silence all around. 10 minutes across untouched forest, just the hum of the sled and our hearts pacing faster than the engine. And then through the trees it appeared, like a hidden chapter from a fairy tale. Skyfair Village, our stay. Next part, our hidden stay begins, a place unlike any we have seen before. And with that, Dul, Jiz, and little M with you, signing off for now. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, bye bye. Love and peace, and thank you for traveling with us.